A new disturbing anti-conversion law in the Hindu majority state of Uttarakhand, India, is setting off alarm bells for Christians around the world. Well, Brian Orme, CEO of Global Christian Relief, is here with the troubling details. So, Brian, what can you tell us about this new law?
Yeah, Raj, thanks for having me. First of all, this law is going into effect. There's about 12 states across India that have anti-conversion laws. This is an additional amendment to the Freedom of Religion Bill, which is kind of houses the anti-conversion laws in Uttarakhand, which is just north of Uttar Pradesh. And it makes it illegal to portray another religion practices as prejudicial in any way, glorifying one religion over the other. This includes social media, it includes, in person. And again, we've seen these anti-conversion laws, how dangerous they are to the Christian community because anyone can take advantage of them and abuse them. And they're often used to push down the minority Christian community, to falsely accuse them, to imprison pastors, because you can interpret this in such a wide way that it's so complicated.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's not quote unquote forced conversion. It seems like it's nondescript enough to seem like, a YouTube video of evangelism. I mean, really basic things could get you in some serious heat. But I was looking at this law and I saw the words life imprisonment on there. I'm like, wait, time out. So this isn't a joke. This isn't a slap on the hand. There's some really serious penalties in this law.
Yeah, and I think for us as Americans, we have to think about it. In India, it's very different. You're not innocent till proven guilty. You're guilty till you're proven innocent. And so they can bring you in with any kind of claim that someone makes, and again, arrest you without a warrant, give you denial of bail, or again, if they punish you, could be up to life. And it's a very serious crime. And again, talking to our partners in the field, we know that for pastors and others, they've been deleting their YouTube sermons, deleting their social medias. Some are preparing to leave the state because they feel like it's going to get much worse. So this is impacting the church in a really deep way.
Well, I'm half Indian. My dad was born in India. Half my family is still Hindu to this day. So this is a personal subject. But, historically, you would think that, there would be more issues for Christians in, say, the Islamic world. I know you were discussing that you just got home from Syria. And,
Yes.
the chronicles of the Christians in Syria is just horrific and almost unspeakable, obviously, in places like Iraq and so on and so forth. But India, this is maybe a new concept for some people. What is happening in India right now when it comes to the Christian community?
Yeah, I think it's important to go back to the election of Prime Minister Modi in 2014, which really kicked off a lot of the intensification of persecution across the country because he brought in a nationalist mentality that to be Indian is to be Hindu. And he has spoken out against minorities. He's part of the BJP party, which has been, again, trying to flush out Christians, Muslims from different regions. And again, so it's one of those things where they're radicalizing especially the rural communities to become very nationalistic. And so they look down upon Christians and other minorities and look to them as the reason for any ill within the village, but also look at them as like not being fully Indian and needed to be ejected or ostracized from that community as well too. So it's become the rhetoric under Prime Minister Modi and the BJP party has driven out, just incredible persecution, discrimination, especially in the rural areas like Chhattisgarh and Uttar Pradesh, and then Uttarakhand.
So I think for folks watching this, I know myself too, being half Indian, the question is what can we do? I'm sitting here in San Diego, you're sitting here in Cincinnati. What can we do?
Yeah, I think the very first thing that's in talking to believers, and I was in India last year, meeting with them, going across the country, hearing the stories firsthand of pastors who'd been in prison, who'd been attacked, Christians who've experienced mob violence because they became Christians and baptized someone in the community, things like that. So it is a really delicate situation. First step is hands down to engage the story, to don't read the news about what's happening in India just as news. Engage it through your persecuted family. So enter that story, pray for our persecuted family across India. They don't need our pity. They definitely need our prayers. There's many strong believers who are, again, persevering and resilient through this. And still, the church is growing. God still uses persecution to scatter, to grow, and to strengthen the church. But then I was also saved through our organization or others who are stepping into India to support the persecuted. They can also have a huge impact by giving either a one-time gift or a recurring gift to really stand with our brothers and sisters across India during this pivotal time for the church there.
Well, that's the maybe my last question is where is the impetus on I don't want to get you involved in this, but like America, like where should the Trump administration get involved? Should we, condition aid? Like, I mean, it seems like we have such a powerful. I think that's the hard part. Is I go to the Middle East and people are like, well, the Christians that you guys quote unquote run the world over here in the West, and you guys aren't even helping your own Christians in Syria and Iraq, and it seems like there's this like disconnect where it's like you are the most powerful entity right now, at least politically in the world, and yet your Christian brothers and sisters around the world are suffering. Isn't there something that on a governmental level that can be done? I don't want you to get involved in politics if you don't want to, but should we be encouraging our government to do something about this?
We definitely should. And again, even being bipartisan, no matter where you're at on that, to speak up, to say, hey, we see the injustice that is happening under the Prime Minister Modi administration in India, and we want to hold them accountable. And again, like that is a hard thing because obviously with world politics, business, all those things are involved with it. We have very good business relationships, and that's a money pathway. I mean, that could be disturbed if we do something different. But I do feel like for us, it's voicing the need to say this has to be part of the conversation, and we need to raise the flag with it. And it could be uncomfortable, and it could cost us as a country, but there is no other way to see the sufferings and to say we have to have a voice. I do feel like it's the church's impetus, like you mentioned, like it's really on us to say we should be stepping up to help our brothers and sisters across the world and opening our eyes and doing what we can, especially praying. But I would say, again, advocating at the highest levels of government is critical as well. And again, praying for that across the world in places like Nigeria, in Iraq, in Syria, and of course, even if we talk about, North Korea and places like that too, we have to figure out ways where we can speak from the top levels of authority and leverage our power and influence to help those who are marginalized.
Brian, I appreciate your time, my friend.
Thanks so much, Raj. Pleasure.